welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at gods5minutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Zechariah 4:9 reads, "The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hand shall also finish it." Zerubbabel was a royal prince of Israel and a leader of the returning exiles following the nation's Babylonian captivity. With Joshua the high priest, he and his little company of believers set about some pitiful restoration with their scanty resources of the great temple Solomon had built and which God had permitted to be destroyed because of Israel's sins. Enmity of surrounding foes had stopped the work for nearly 20 years. During all that time, the hole in the ground where the foundations had been dug and a few courses of stones laid stood as a sad reminder of the failure of their hopes. But with the goodwill of a new Persian king and the appearance of a bright guiding star in the young Zechariah, new inspiration had arrived, which benefited from this prophecy that the old man who had taken the first shovelful of earth from the ground would live to see the last one. But the prophet's words have a ring that echoes through the centuries to our time with a different timbre than only the rebuilding of an earthly building. What was true of Zerubbabel was to have a bearing on the greater son of David who should come after him, for Christ is a true temple builder. See him in creation itself. He is before all things, and by him all things consist. Indeed, he told us himself, "I am the first and the last." Thus his hands have laid the foundation, and his hand shall finish it. He is the beginner and finisher of the work of redemption, from the first breaking of the ground for the foundations of this spiritual temple to the triumphant placement of the last stone that gleams on the topmost pinnacle of the completed structure. The carpenter of Nazareth, who was trained as other Jewish children, increased in wisdom, spoke a language evolved by his ancestors, and felt his nation's mental and spiritual culture, yet stands forth in the Bible as a perfectly original man, owing nothing to any predecessor. He presents a completely fresh thing in the history of human nature, just as his coming portrayed humanity of a new kind, the second Adam, the Lord from heaven. So the work that he does is all his own. He does it all himself, for all that his servants do in carrying out his purposes is done by his working in and through them, for though we are fellow laborers with him, his hands alone lay every stone of the temple. Now Christ's temple, the church of God, is an edifice of salvation for all the ages, so that the work upon it must be continuous so long as the world shall stand. But the prophet is that his hands shall finish it. That means all through the ages his hands have been at work. Just so he is working at it now. For the Christian church is not a philosophy or doctrine he came to give to the world and then leave for his followers to develop as centuries and vagaries of culture and disparate leaders affected them. He is himself the active head of his church, building on and on. Remember the closing words of Mark's Gospel, in which he describes himself, how the Lord's chosen leaders, now bereft of the physical presence of their great master, went forth and preached everywhere. But the verse doesn't end with this otherwise sad description of gospel workers now on their own. Its conclusion reads, "The Lord working with them and confirming the word with signs following." A temple, a work, a place of worship, and the grand plan of salvation is the eternal legacy of Jesus Christ, the author and finisher of our faith. It is upon this which the redemption and hope of the world depends. No doubt, in Zerubbabel's day, there were plenty of skeptical voices to disparage any dream of a true temple on the fire-blackened ruins of ages past. But there came a great promise to them. He shall bring forth the headstone with shoutings. Brethren, that same prophecy of the triumphant church of God still belongs to our generation. The Lord is yet building among his people, and he will lay the final stones in our salvation. Have you talked to him today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at godsfive minutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.